In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern where there is plenty of storms to discuss around the nation, as well as a big time cooldown that is on the way as we speak that is going to bring about a fall-like pattern here for a little bit of August. We are going to be taking a look at the long-range temperature pattern where September, October, and even November are expected to be below normal as far as temperatures are concerned, with frequent Arctic blasts moving into the United States. It's highly unusual, unlike a fall that I've really seen in my YouTube career or even in recent memory whatsoever. So definitely something to be excited about if you are a cold lover, and potentially moving into the winter if you're a cold and snow lover. So let's just dive into things. We also have a tropical depression to discuss here in a little bit, so we'll get into that towards the end, where I'm really watching New England and the eastern Canada areas for a potential impact there. So many things to discuss today. Let's just take a look here at this evening, and what we see is there is some chances for thunderstorms still around for the Rockies, Cascades, into the plains. This is what we've been dealing with kind of for a little bit here. We've been discussing this a lot, and here we are still talking about it. We do see along the Gulf and East coasts here individually, we do see that there is just the chance of some showers and thunderstorms here. Pretty frequent and pretty common for this time of year, so nothing too out of the ordinary as far as that is concerned. Let's take a look here at Tuesday on August 13th, tomorrow from the time I'm making this video, and we see thunderstorms and showers once again prevailing for a lot of the west, also the northern plains there, as well as western Canada as a whole. We're just seeing a lot of showers and thunderstorms present for these areas, and they're really the most active areas around the nation right now. The Gulf and the East Coast, again, it's just like the day prior. We really do have a chance at some showers and thunderstorms. Nothing too crazy, though. Very typical stuff. Wednesday on August 14th, what we are seeing by this point is some thunderstorms and showers really picking up some steam across the Rockies, the Cascades, into some of the plains here. We see that along the Gulf and East coasts, there's a chance of thunderstorms. So really looking like deja vu here of those previous 2 days as well. So 3 days in a row with very similar weather. Here's that tropical disturbance here north of, I would say, in between Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. And this storm is expected to do something like this. It's going to be a pretty northern curve, but it's going to be close for New England. It could even strike New England or eastern Canada, which is out of frame right now. We will look at that in a minute on the GFS model, where we will see the actual kind of expected impacts there. Thursday on August 15th, we can see that this storm is further west than what was initially expected even just yesterday or the day before on these models. So definitely something that we are going to be tracking ever so closely. We do see that for the Rockies and Cascades, there are some isolated showers and thunderstorms, but this has died down from what it was earlier that week. We do see that we have these showers and thunderstorms across south central Canada and into some of the upper Midwest and northern plains here. We do see along the Gulf and East coast here that we are seeing showers and thunderstorms all over the place. So again, just that isolated or scattered chance of a thunderstorm passing by is going to be present for what looks like most of the week here. By Friday, we do see that this storm does curve back a little bit out to sea, so we're starting to lose some of it on frame. Again, we will look at that later on. The Rockies, plains, and now it's kind of all coming together. I mean, really, it's the Rockies, some of the plains, Midwest, Great Lakes and Ohio Valley, and even into some of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast here, we're seeing these thunderstorms present. Jet stream at this point is doing something like this, so we are seeing some cooler air move in behind this as well, kind of indicative of that lower pressure and a lot of activity around these cooler temperatures. It's pretty typical stuff here for Friday on August 16th, really with what we've been expecting. Saturday here on the 17th, what we see is some thunderstorms and showers around for a lot of your eastern states along the Gulf, up through some of the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. The southeast and mid-Atlantic, as well as some of the northeast there, we are seeing pretty widespread thunderstorms and showers around. So definitely something that I'm personally going to be watching very closely here on the channel. We do see that there is still some isolated and scattered showers around for the Cascades, Rockies, in through the Four Corner states here. So there is still some chances of precipitation, just a lot less than there was earlier on in the week. Sunday here on August 18th, what we're seeing is thunderstorms really firing up for the east still. We have 1,005 millibar up there in eastern Canada. Eastern Canada is really seeing a lot of showers and thunderstorms here. Same story with the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, deeper south, southeast, mid-Atlantic, and northeast there. Really nobody's safe from these thunderstorms because they are everywhere in the east here. Jet stream is once again looking pretty much like a trough in the east here, so a little cooler still. Definitely something to watch for as we're looking at a very pleasant temperature pattern ahead for a lot of folks. Monday, on the 19th here, we're seeing a lot of this up and down the east with these thunderstorms. So we're looking at the deeper south, southeast, Ohio Valley, mid-Atlantic, northeast, and then for a lot of eastern Canada, again, showers and thunderstorms are present. Drying up for the west, though, really not a lot to discuss there for early next week. Tuesday on August 20th, it's a lot of the same. I'd say this is a quieter day as a whole. We have a big ridge in the west and a larger trough in the east here, so we're seeing much cooler temperatures. It looks like here for a lot of the eastern states by the 20th time frame on this model. Overall stormy for mostly Canada, but some of the Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast here as well. Let's take a look finally at Wednesday the 21st, which is going to be your final day of this model run here. We see some of the northwest and southwest of Canada seeing some showers or perhaps thunderstorms. North central states dealing with a few passing thunderstorms. And same story for the eastern, or northeastern, I should say, United States. For the Florida area, basically in general, we are seeing some more widespread thunderstorms as they tend to have. And then eastern Canada, we are seeing quite a bit of thunderstorms around, especially, you know, around the Hudson Bay and to the east of it and south of it, of course. Now, as we take a look at the GFS model for these tropics, like I said, watch the track of this storm. It's very different than what we were seeing previously. It develops quite quickly north of Dominican Republic there. And it heads towards Bermuda, but it goes just to the west of it as a 966 millibar low pressure center, likely a hurricane. And look where it hits. It scrapes along all of those eastern Canadian areas, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. Everybody gets hit there with a pretty strong storm, unfortunately. And, you know, we're looking at this. This is more than, this is about 7 days out. This could trend even further west and bring more impacts to New England. Equally so, to be open and transparent, it could also obviously trend further towards the east and be more offshore, hopefully. But we do have this very strong high pressure system right here, and this is going to play a big role. As you know, this low does not want to go towards higher pressure. It wants to move away from it. We can see there's a lot of lower pressure over the state. So if you're leaning which way it's going to turn and which way it's going to trend towards, you'd probably expect it to head towards that lower pressure over the United States, as opposed to that very, very high pressure that is over the northern Atlantic. So problematic for sure. And we are looking at potential impacts here for a lot of these areas. And really, I mean, nobody can be ruled out, but New England, the eastern Canada areas in general, get ready. This one could be a doozy for sure. And this model run isn't completely out. It only gets out to 246. Usually we get a little further there on the GFS. We do have some systems moving off of Africa here, so certainly more to come as we approach the peak of this hurricane season. Definitely a lot of activity is on the way. Now, the precipitation anomalies have shifted a little bit. We see a lot of the south is dealing with drier conditions. What's interesting is it looks like we're heading into a La Nina pattern here. I mean, this is classic stuff. I mean, I would say the west should be, the southwest especially, like Canada, or California better yet. California, Nevada, Arizona should be a bit drier if this was a perfect La Nina pattern. But a lot of the south being dry is La Nina. A lot of the north being above average is very, very indicative of a La Nina as well. So definitely very interesting pattern that looks like what we expect to see a lot of moving towards the fall and winter time. Very wet compared to normal for some of the Cascades down through the Rockies, as well as the plains through the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Mid-Atlantic and Northeast as well. Also, look, I mean, Eastern Canada in some of those above average precipitation areas. So this is the next 15 days. This is the current look. Now, the temperature pattern, we can see that we are underway with this cool down. It is moving in pretty substantial. I mean, the blues are going to be about 1 to 10 degrees below normal. 10 would be obviously very substantial, but the greens there are 10 to 15 degrees below normal. We even have some blues within those greens for Montana, the Dakotas, and even Nebraska there. That is 15 to 25 degrees below normal. So a very, very sharp departure from what's typical. And what we see is that this is going to last through the coming days. We also hold on to a trough-like pattern here all the way through early next week. Look at this. We have cooler temperatures around for kind of the peak temperatures of the day for Monday the 19th here. The nights are a little bit warmer, so that's why we see it kind of turn back orange there. Very interesting to say the least. Cooler is going to be around through next week. This is Thursday the 22nd, 10 days from now. Still cooler in the east overall. 25th, 26th, and I mean, really, even at the end of this, the 27th, we still see cooler temperature anomalies along that east coast. So it is trending cooler for the near term. Over the next 10 to 15 days, things are trending cooler overall on these models. Definitely something we're going to be watching closely. Here is that long range temperature pattern. And we can see that this is in 5-day increments. So here's the 13th through the 18th, cooler in the east, as you can see. Here's the 18th through the 23rd, still cool in the east. Here's the 23rd through the 28th, still cold in the east. Let's see, so 28th through the 2nd of September, we do see some of that cooler air is becoming more neutral, I would say. It's near normal for the east, cooler out west. Let's look at the 2nd through the 7th, though, and we cool right back down in the east. So a very cold, or I would say cooler, beginning to the fall time, meteorological fall time, starts, of course, on September 1st. You know, there is the calendar seasons, of course, which goes, you know, it has a lot more to do with astronomy and everything, but the weather, you're going to find that the meteorological seasons are going to be much more in line with what you feel outside. So that's why we tend to use that in the weather world. You know, September 1st to December 1st is going to be fall-like. You know, September 1st is really when you start to see that cool down begin, where day over day over day, you're losing your average temperature. And then by the time you're reaching December 1st, it doesn't, you know, December 1st and beyond does not feel like fall. It feels like wintertime. You know, it doesn't feel like kind of cold. No, usually it's extremely cold during that time, very winter like December 1st and beyond, you know, and then March 1st and beyond, typically you're seeing that beginning of that climb in the temperatures. You know, June 1st and beyond does not feel like spring, it feels like summer. So that's, you get the point. I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but those meteorological seasons are going to follow much closely what you would expect to see. Now, September 7th through the 12th, we see an even colder pattern overall in the east. Then here's the 12th through the 17th, still cold in the east. 17th through the 22nd, still cold in the east. And then the 21st through the 26th, still cold in the east and the west, as well as a warmer pattern over the central states. So really no end in sight, I mean, is the most accurate way to put it. I mean, let's even look at the monthly outlook. Here's August. September cold in the east, October cold in the east. The only change here with this current model run is we do see a little bit of a warmer thaw out for November. Not too surprising, you know, and this model will fluctuate a lot, but typically you do expect to see like one warmer month in there, even in a really cold fall. It's very rare for it to be like September, October, November, straight cold all the way through. Also, you know, a November that's 1 to 2 degrees above normal is still going to be much colder than a far below normal October or September, so it's not going to impact things as much as a warmer September would, which a warmer September ends up being like August or July. A colder October or November or September, better yet, ends up being a lot more fall-like. So that's the one that really can determine how you're feeling for the month of September. It can either be summer-like or fall-like, leaning towards fall-like as of right now. Let's look at the cone forecast for Tropical Cyclone 5 here. And what we see, or I guess it's not a tropical depression, it's actually a tropical cyclone, which means that they're not really seeing the tropical component yet. It does have a strong enough winds, though, to be considered a impactful system, though. So pretty interesting. We do see that this one is expected to become an official tropical storm by 8 a.m. tomorrow, though. So it will be a named storm likely by then, if not over the coming hours or days after that. We do see that it is expected to take that northern curve as it strikes directly with Puerto Rico, likely becoming a hurricane to the north of there by 8 a.m. on Thursday, and then perhaps striking Bermuda around 8 a.m. Saturday, still as a hurricane. Beyond that is very far out, and again, we could see some very far trends to the west or east. We're going to want to watch this one extremely closely. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe as we do upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.